Good evening, everyone. I am Jackson Iwata, and today I'm here to talk to you all about love. But before I start, I'm just gonna say it. There's a lot of people in this chapel right now. This is pretty overwhelming. I'm just standing up here. It's so formal, and I'm just here to talk. To be honest, I didn't really realize how much people were in this chapel. Usually in the morning, I'm in zombie mode, and I'm just walking around, and I don't know what's going on, so this is pretty surprising. Speaking of surprises, though, shout out to my parents who didn't know I was doing this speech beforehand and maybe didn't know I was going to graduate. My dad, I can see him, he's shocked right now. His jaw is dropped like this, literally. And my mom, she actually figured out a couple weeks ago I was doing this speech when I kept doing this introduction in the shower. So shout out to you guys. I couldn't be where I am right now without you guys, and shout out to the rest of my family scattered around the room and watching on the live stream. Hopefully. I shout out to you guys. I appreciate all of you. But today, I'm here to read something on the lines of a love letter to you guys. The class of 2024. I couldn't find your locker, so unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to give it to you right now. Yeah, sorry. It's pretty romantic if you ask me, though. It's 7 o'clock. We're in this cold wood chapel under these gigantic square fluorescent lights with these big white speakers. Really sets the mood for love. Okay. Here we go. Dear class of 2024, I found this love for you throughout my time at Iolani, but especially this year, while running the notorious Instagram account, One Iolani a Day. Not officially affiliated with Iolani, by the way. For those of you who don't know, One Iolani a Day is an Instagram account that started by my close friend, Minko Kim, class of 2023, that attempts to post one photo from Iolani every school day and on Sundays. Usually the account tries to capture the biggest event happening at school that day, or a relatable photo, whether the photo is taken by the author or submitted by the other students, or sometimes stolen from Scoring Live, ESPN Honolulu, or even the Iolani School official account. Sorry, guys. Or on days where there's absolutely nothing happening, One Iolani a Day posts a photo of his friends. It's one of the worst kept secrets on campus, if you even want to call it a secret anymore, that I run One Iolani a Day. It used to be anonymous, but somehow everyone knows now. I can't even try to deny it anymore. And people tell me, Jackson, you make it so obvious, but I like to see you try posting photos from school every day. Come on, guys, it's hard. Give me some credit. Anyway, I had the great honor of taking over for the account this year after Minko graduated last year, but I actually wasn't his first pick. Sungkyuk Eric Lee, who's somewhere in this room, he actually ran the account for the first quarter of the school year, which explains why the 407th day is a photo of a ketchup dispenser. To be clear, that was Eric's ketchup dispenser. I did not post that. The account's most liked photo from the school year was our weekly settlement for the February 10th weekend. This was the Senior Luau Paddling State Championship, Swimming State Championship, Boys Soccer State Championship, Girls Basketball State Championship weekend. I'm pretty sure it was a jam-packed weekend for almost everyone in this Koa Wood Chapel. But for me, my schedule consisted of attending the Girls Basketball Championship on Friday while simultaneously checking Scoring Live every 3 to 5 minutes to see if boys soccer won their state semifinal. Jeez. Waking up early on that Saturday like it was a school day, scrambling to find a paddling live stream, only to realize there was none, texting the swimmers good luck on their three-peat, rushing to Senior Luau to help set up because somehow I got guilt-tripped into volunteering. Just kidding. Going home and changing into Aloha attire, going to actual Senior Luau, and then leaving Senior Luau early to go to boys soccer in YPO. The only thing on my mind after all of that was who in their right mind decided to schedule 4 state tournaments on one weekend? That's not a coincidence. Having 2 on the same weekend would be a coinky-dink. 4? 4 is like purposeful and it's like straight up evil. Our post, titled the 450th day, included photos from all 4 state championship games, the senior moms at Senior Luau's beautiful hula dancing at the lowest possible photo quality, the D2 boys basketball senior night from that week's Tuesday, the orchestra performance from the weekend before, because, yeah, I forgot to post it the weekend before. I make mistakes too, guys. That post for the 450th day and weekly settlement got a grand total of 233 likes. I know, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it can be pretty hard to get some engagement when your base audience is a bunch of high school kids who don't want to admit they like anything because they don't want to admit they like anything. But through the weekend, more importantly, I was reminded how much I appreciate and, dare I say, love my class. I was so proud that we won 3 state championships in 1 week, and I was not even remotely associated with any of the teams. Throughout all 3 state championship seasons, I obsessively kept up with each team and continuously made the excuse to myself that I was following the teams for the good of the account. I would check Scoring Live daily, go to most of their games, or check ESPN in Honolulu for the rest, all for the good of the account. I had the excuse in my head, but in reality, I had an attachment. I genuinely cared about these teams and people who I barely talk to and mostly only know by name. And this was not just limited to those sports. This entire year, I've been obsessively keeping track of almost every activity at school. It's gotten to the point where my iPhone has Scoring Live, the ILH website, and a weekly reminder to post on Instagram. I remember in the spring how happy I was for one of my best friends, Isaiah Weeks, and the baseball team when they beat Kamehameha to stay in ILH and state contention. Isaiah returned from injury heroically and made his first appearance that season and pitched 4 good innings against the future ILH champions. Throughout the season, I would constantly ask Isaiah how it was going, and I'm sure Isaiah found it a little weird and annoying. And to be honest, I found it a little weird and annoying because in the past, I've never cared about how Isaiah and the baseball team were doing. All I cared about was that Isaiah was excited for water polo season in the fall, which Isaiah rarely was. But then I remembered that the love goes both ways. I am sure I'm not the only one asking Isaiah about baseball. I know other people do it, which is why Isaiah gets annoyed when people ask him. I also remember people, few as it may be, even asked me in the fall how we were doing in water polo. Even though I was heartbroken about almost every game and would tell them the long story, they would all care enough to say, "It's okay, Jackson." The love that we share for each other is rare, and it's real. We are all bonded through hardships that we experience as Iolani students. The relentless homework, the strenuous tests, the annoying underclassmen, the prestigious dress code, the early morning chapels. And whether we want to admit it or not, we all silently care about each other. We all kind of love each other. But I did not always have this love for you, class of 2024. In fact, back in 7th, 8th, and even 9th grade, I kind of wanted to break up with you pretty badly, I'm not gonna lie. And I think a lot of you would agree with that statement. I think we can all remember, off the top of our heads, a certain cheerfest in 7th grade, very vividly, unfortunately. I think that cheerfest showed signs of a failing and, one might say, toxic relationship. Now, I know some of you have blocked off that memory or weren't there to see it, so I have some lyrics here and I'm gonna have to read them. Oh my God. Hey, class of 2024, got this text on your phone. This type of seriousness? A competition? Bring it on. Something, 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 something. We're here to stomp and romp and bring this big gym down. Smooth rock and roll, just to let you know, this big old gym is coming down. I was fighting a heavy amount of tears while writing this portion of the speech. You can say a lot about this year, especially now since we won Cheerfest and Lip Sync this year. Really? No applause? Okay. Sorry guys, I was supposed to give you a bigger cue, that's my bad. But looking back at it, I really don't think the cheer was that bad, you know? Like, it had some flow, it had some rhythm, it had bars. But I think what made it outright terrible was the fact that we brought up the cheerleaders on stage because none of us, including me for the record, had it memorized. I remember one of my 8th grade water polo teammates told me it looked like we were reading our English essays. And like, you know, okay, good one, bro. That was so hilarious, but you're not wrong. Yeah, suffice to say, 7th grade Cheerfest was rough for us, and I'm pretty sure 8th grade Cheerfest was not much better. And it goes without saying that lip sync was pretty atrocious too. But also, during this terrible, horrible time as a class, I was not doing the best as a student, which made it tough for me to love our class. I come from a long lineage of Iolani students, athletes, alumni, people. My grandpa, my 2 uncles, my sister, my cousins, and cousins went here. So coming here was a little overwhelming for me at first. Every Iolani student, regardless of lineage, has an adjustment period, a short period of time after transferring where you're not doing as well as you were at your previous school. This can make loving anything hard. During this adjustment period, you have 2 options. Put your head down, go to work, sleep 3 hours a day to have the biggest academic comeback in human history. Or you can accept this cruel, new, depressing reality that you're maybe not as smart as you once thought you were. You know, people usually choose the first option, but I kind of wanted to be different, so I chose the second option. I went into the stage of learned helplessness. I was getting 3.0 flats because I didn't study. I played tons of Fortnite, watched tons of Netflix, didn't go outside much because I was afraid of the sun. Although, you know, it sounds like a sad lifestyle, I assure you, looking back at it, those were the good old days. But then, suddenly, in a blink of an eye, it's high school, and it's time for all of us to lock in. Things started to pick up for yours truly, and I began to fall in love with the class of 2024. Suddenly, I began studying, and would you look at that, my grades started getting better. But you know what they say, correlation doesn't always equal causation, so hold your horses, teachers. Suddenly, in high school, we all begin to succeed as individuals, whether that be as a student, as a friend, as an athlete, a performer, as a class. And then this weird thing called self-love begins to form, which allows us to finally learn to love each other. Class of 2024, it's been a wild ride, and I didn't always love you. And it took us a long time to learn to love each other. And sure, there were bad times. 7th grade Cheerfest, 8th grade Cheerfest, 9th grade Cheerfest, chemistry. But we made it through, guys, and formed a bond stronger than embarrassment, stronger than last place at Cheerfest, stronger than take-home quizzes, stronger than timed writings, and that bond is called love. I'm not hiding. I was just getting this, sorry. I love you, class of 2024. Sincerely, your not-so-secret admirer, Jackson Iwata. Sorry.